everybody, and welcome to Wingcat Sports. It's our weekly NFC North
again.
background. So, first game, Minnesota, Chicago. One of the worst games you probably could have saw today, but also one of the best games you could have saw today because it actually ended up pretty close. Minnesota winning 19-13. Still, both losing records, still bottom feeders in our division.
Yes.
But who knows? Maybe they can make a turnaround this year, but probably not. Kirk Cousins, not a bad day, but not a great day either. He threw for 181 yards for 1 TD. Not great, not bad, but average.
I watched the first half of this game, and I think I would have probably preferred to have been waterboarded and then watch the rest of this game. It was that bad.
This is nothing but field goals.
Other things. These are just, it is what it is. They are just two bad divisional teams. They're fighting it out to see which one is less shittier.
It's funny because every time I want to give Minnesota credit, and even though they won today, but to win only 19.
How can you give anybody credit for that?
Against that crappy.
So one bright side of the day for Minnesota, you didn't turn the ball over more than once.
Were they at home?
They were in Chicago, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think Cousins threw an interception.
He did not. There was one fumble. He had one fumble. 3 total fumbles, but only one.
Yeah, he threw it behind him. He threw it behind him, and it was like he was about to get massacred. And the guy wasn't even expecting the ball. He's like, "Oh, you take it."
I'm about to say,
threw it behind him, and the other guy picked it up.
Rushing wise for Minnesota, only 46 yards total. All that coming from Alexander Masterson, because Cam Akers did have 8 off of 1, but negative rushing yards otherwise.
And how much of the game did this guy take over? When did he take over for Justin Fields?
What?
Well, so Justin Fields got hurt.
Or Bagent. He was pungent. His first play from scrimmage, he fucking fumbled and gave it back to the Vikings. He was
and that's what I'm saying. To only score 19 points against that team is just, and even be in a
let up
them.
And let up 13 points.
I thought Harold was backup quarterback for the Bears for a second.
But Justin Fields did get hurt. He dislocated his thumb, so they're going to look at that. We'll see. If he's not back, then the Bears are 100% done this year. There ain't nothing.
They're done anyway.
They can't pull a Lions like last year and make
they were
them
done
9
at the
8
opening
finish.
coin toss of the season.
That's right.
But Badgett did go 10 for 14 though after that fumble. So
I hate seeing
10 for
that,
14.
Don't you see that?
I mean, maybe you might find a diamond in the rough with him, but don't expect much out of most backups. You just can't. And what has he got to lose? He's probably laying in bed right now going, we fucking suck anyways. I'm going to do whatever we can.
You know what? I bet you he's praying to God that Justin Fields is healthy so he don't have
Please don't send me back out here.
Just take that
Please don't sell me back. Send me back out.
So, to give you an idea of how well he did trying to get away, Badgett only had 4 rushing yards off of 2 attempts compared to Justin Fields, 46 off of 8 attempts.
But when did he go out of the game?
I'm going to assume somewhat halfway through the game based on the attempts.
I want to say it was after the first half, like somewhere in the third quarter.
Did Pungent score any scores?
No, he had no TDs. He had an interception.
Yeah. So it was all Fields scored 13 points.
I think it was mostly field goals and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah. Okay.
Pungent.
Oh, no. Badgett, he did have a rushing touchdown.
Badgett?
Yeah, Badgett.
Badgett
did have a rushing touchdown, so he did get a score.
So it wasn't. That's just. It's just
good job.
I can't take anybody in our division seriously anymore.
No, I don't. I don't.
Even football team.
So
if we don't win this division, then everyone in the Detroit Lions should just jump off the Ambassador Bridge.
If we lose to anybody,
I
should be absolutely embarrassed.
So
we should call a suicide hotline.
So the Vikings next week play the 49ers. So we can chalk that as an L for them.
Where at, though?
Well, I don't think that matters. But
I mean,
they are at home. They're at home against the 49ers.
I mean, they lost to the Browns today.
That's right. They got to play the 49ers.
They lost to the Browns today. Anything possible.
That's an L for them.
Pretty sure
they're not going to win that game.
Yeah, who's Chicago playing?
Chicago's going to go.
Doesn't matter. They're losing.
They're going to play the Raiders without Jimmy Garoppolo potentially because he got hurt.
They're losing it. Don't watch that game. Who's the backup for the Raiders?
I have no idea.
And then Badgett. Oh God.
The Bears are favored actually in that game
Against
currently.
who?
The Raiders.
No, they are not.
They are.
How is that possible? Then we should beat the Raiders like 95-0
I'd rather have a
They're
colonoscopy.
favorite. If
Bri-
the Bears are favored.
Brian
over them.
Hoyer is the
Oh my.
Raiders
God.
backup, just so you know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Don't
Brian
watch-
Hoyer's better.
Don't
than
watch that
anybody
one,
they
guys. Don't watch that
got.
one.
I'll bet on the Raiders on that one because that Brian Hoyer's still better than anybody than Pungent or whatever the guy's name is.
Putrid.
Putrid.
So
You
the
suck.
Packers, luckily, this week get a little bit of off time from being up by these two since they were on a bye week. But next week, they do have to go and play the Broncos. So, I mean,
Oh God.
in Denver,
Who does?
the
God.
Packers.
Oh, they should beat them.
That
I,
that,
know,
that
maybe.
could,
I don't know. I
that
don't
could
know.
potentially be
They're awful.
worse than Vikings Bears.
I don't know. Anyone could win that game. The Broncos could beat the Packers in Denver.
In Denver.
Yeah, they could do it.
Currently, who's favored? Packers are favored. They have a 57% chance
By
of
what?
winning.
Christ.
Can't be favored by more than 2
It's
points.
57% chance of winning. So they're favored.
I have an over 50% chance of not watching.
That's right. I have almost a 99.5.
Yeah, 99.
Bears are favored
Yeah.
over the Raiders. And then I don't even think I need to tell you what this is. The 49ers have a 70% chance to beat the Vikings.
70. Fuck
It should be higher than that.
That's right. They could start Kaepernick next week
Yeah,
and still beat
Yeah.
the Vikings.
yeah.
That sucks.
And then the
They don't even have to come on in and play a game.
final team in the NFC North today, where I got a post game out, but of course the Lions winning 20-6 with a pretty good performance against a good Tampa Bay team. They're going to be against the Ravens next week, but overall the Lions have looked pretty good up to this point.
And Lamar Jackson really hasn't had that great of a start. If you ask me, he's been shaky.
This is just, I
So
think the
this is
Lions
winnable.
kind of need this. They need it today because of how competitive it was. Even though it was 20-6, it was a good game. It was a tight game for most of it. And I think Baltimore will be the same way. It's going to be an away game.
Yeah,
And
Fans will be traveling well,
Yeah,
just like they
fans will
did
be
to Tampa.
traveling.
yeah.
So you might get a little bit of a help.
And they seem to like that.
You gotta.
I doubted them kind of this week. I kind of thought, okay, I think Tampa Bay's going to sneak up. No, they didn't stop. And I don't think they're going to stop next week. I think that they realize beating Baltimore, I mean, there's nothing in front of them.
Yeah,
There's
there really
nothing
is.
in
until
front of
Dallas.
them.
Until Dallas.
Dallas might be their only
Dallas, I
stepping
mean,
stone.
Dak Prescott is looking like garbage again.
Yeah,
and-
he's
and-
highly overrated.
So, I mean, you wouldn't even have to put that much points up to beat those guys. I'm not saying they aren't a challenge because they are, but it's just
Today's game showed that they could.
by the
actually
time you play
grind.
Dallas,
It was
you
a
should
grueling
be
game.
you should be 6 games ahead of everybody else.
Today
in
really
our
was.
division.
Today
You
really
might
was
have
a
that
fight.
thing sewed up before
Yeah.
December 1st.
I hope so.
You might have that whole thing.
It really
sewed
was.
up.
And we were talking about at the beginning of the game. It's like,
I-
God, this is boring. But as it went on, you realize, especially in the second half, this was just a grinding fight.
It
They,
was.
they,
It was.
yes,
it was
a
fun.
grinding defensive, offensive battle
It was. They were
against
pushing
two
each other.
solid teams. It really was.
And that defense again. You can't say enough about them. I kept waiting. I kept going.
Yeah.
Oh, Mayfield's going to get 1 touchdown. He's going to do something.
And Tampa
He's
Bay
gonna score
might be right up there.
Right. They're a
come
good
come the
team.
end of the season.
They're a good
Not a
team.
great team, but a good team.
Yeah,
But
a very good test for us today on the road against them.
Yeah.
the next week against Baltimore, the Baltimore is favorited. I think this is the first game I've seen where the Lions
Let
have
them be
been
favored.
favored.
I
this year.
have confidence in these
But-
guys.
Okay.
It's going to be an interesting game next week, but we'll get more into the Baltimore game in our pregame later on.
Yes.
Yeah, they lost to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's garbage, really, other than their defense. Pittsburgh's defense is always good. And for some reason, they have
For
one of the
another
best
game.
coaching staffs in the thing. But I mean, Kenny Pickett? Jesus, you lost to him?
Yeah, we'll get more into pregame stuff later on.
So
But
all around 5-1.
5-1
keep it going.
line, leading the division
Keep that train
pretty
rolling.
well. 2.5 games,
all the
3.5
way to
games.
Title
out.
Town.
We will at least should win the division. With that being said, though, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Until next time, hope to see everybody soon.
Bye.